Hello and good day to you. We are on day 6 of our 25 days of reading through our Advent storybook. Again, I'm Jen Wilson. I am the children's pastor here at Overland Park Church of the Nazarene. And if you were one of my kiddos, you should have gotten a coloring book in the mail. And we are on day 6. This is your coloring page for day 6. Any idea what this story is? Okay, and you can color as I read this story to you. So again, day 6 out of the Advent Storybook, 25 Bible stories showing why Jesus came by Laura Ritchie. Okay, day 6 is titled A Promise Kept. Abraham, having patiently waited, obtained the promise. Hebrews 6:15. Abram kept waiting for God to give him a son. He waited and waited and waited. After many more years, Abram and his wife Sarai got tired of waiting. In that time, men sometimes had more than one wife. This was not God's plan, but people didn't trust that God's plan would work. Abram and Sarai didn't trust God to keep his promise to give them a great family. So Abram had a son with a different wife. 13 years after that, God came and talked to Abram again. When Abram saw God, he fell to the ground. Abram had made mistakes, but God was not angry with him. God reminded Abram of his promise. God gave Abram a new name, Abraham. Abraham means father of many. God told Abraham that he would have a very, very big family. Nations would come from him. Kings would come from his family. God also promised that Abraham's family would have their own home in a place called Canaan. And best of all, God made a special friendship promise that would last forever. A covenant to love Abraham and his family and to be their God. Abraham had waited so long. Could he trust in God's promise? God gave Sarah a new name too. He called her Sarah. Sarah and Abraham were very old. They both laughed at the idea of having a child in their old age. But God kept his promise. A year later, he gave them a son. Even though they had stopped trusting God, he still loved them and gave them good things. They were so happy to have their son Isaac. God reminded Abraham and his family again and again of his promise to love them and to be their God. And he reminded them that one day a promised son would come who would destroy evil and make everything good and new again. All right, so there is the story, the picture of Abraham and Sarah and the new baby Isaac. God's promise for Abraham and Sarah fulfilled. All right, that was day 6. Let's go to prayer. Lord, thank you so much for your promises and for us to know that you always keep your promises to us. That is something that we can rest in and we can be secure in and know to be true, Lord. Lord, I thank you for each one of these families that are listening here tonight, Lord. I know that you are bestowing many blessings on them this Advent season, Lord. Lord, I hope that we anticipate your son coming with joy and hope and gladness, Lord, and leave all the chaos of this season behind, Lord, and just concentrate on your blessing of your son. In your great and wonderful name, amen.